pitch, choose by tone quality. Can't recommend that more. Okay, let me talk about the old helmet conch. Another guy, this is something I've been working with relatively new, thanks to my mom. He got this for me on her trip to Hawaii a year or two ago. I've only used it in performance a couple times, and not because it's so much that it's hard to play, but it doesn't cut through in the microphone as much, and it doesn't give me the notes I really need for a solo. But the interesting thing about this is it's a lot easier to play the overtone series on it because, as you would imagine, it's got more tubing, and an instrument with more tubing can play more of an overtone series. On the other conches, I can just play an octave. On this guy, I can do a little bit more. I believe the fundamental is G, and then I'll play another G, and then the D above that, and who knows, I might hit the G above that. Let's see. Starting on G. So great, so I'm working with the overtone series. So none of those notes are connected, but it's interesting so far. But let's go back to the fundamental. My highest note open is G, so if I start adding hands, I can walk down. And I also am able to use a two-hand position on this shell. It's entirely different. I had to develop this guy myself. First, you're gonna have to brace it hard to your chest, and then I'm gonna walk down G, G flat, F sharp, E, D, and we're playing this sequence of notes. Okay, so as you saw, I was manipulating the shell up here with my left hand and down here with my right hand. And really, I'm just kind of sliding it. I haven't really, if I can be honest, I haven't played the shell enough to totally internalize where these hand positions are. I am operating off of oral skills, which I've mentioned. You must have oral skills. If you ever want to get up in public and play this, you need to have oral skills, especially if you want to play with other musicians. And actually, in my experience, it's actually easier to play the C shell in tune when you have other instruments because your hands will end up subconsciously making the minute adjustments to keep your instrument in tune. I really enjoy playing rock music in it. I'm different than Steve Turre in that regard. My background is not in jazz music. My background is actually as a piano player, playing rock and roll music, and as a bass player. I have played some trumpet and some French horn. I play a little classical music on the French horn. And I'm always seeking to try to achieve this tone quality as I get on the French horn. So here I've given you an instructional video, the basics of what I'm doing. I'm going to call this part 1. Well, actually, there's going to be 2 parts because this is over 10 minutes now that I take a moment to think about it. But please, please, people, hit me up on YouTube if you've got serious questions. Again, I'm not going to tell you where to find seashells. I don't know. I got lucky. These 2 shells my mom got for me because she takes vacations to Hawaii. I've never been there, but she has. This is the seashell that got me all started. I spent 10 bucks at it as a beach souvenir, and I would have had no idea at that point that it would have ended up changing my life. This guy was a gift from the University of Delaware, and I rarely played, even though it plays an amazing amount of notes. I think its fundamental is C. So there you heard me play a whole octave of notes with my 2 hands. But, you know, I rationalized to myself that seashell playing, I don't want it to be a novelty, and I want it to be appreciated for its sound. But, you know, the reason I don't play this is because when I play it and I use my 2 hand positions, I've got the thing completely covered up. People don't know what they're hearing. And I kind of don't like the tone quality. To me, it kind of runs in the line of my feelings about the Triton here, which I don't really like the tone quality on the Triton. It does play some notes, but I just don't care for the tone quality. I get some notes out of it, and I use, in that case, I use Steve Turay's one-hand trombone method, but I don't know, the tone quality just sounds buzzy to me. I gotta say, I love my baby. I love the Queen. I don't know what I'd do without her. I'd have to go find another one. Thanks to Don Easter, I'll probably go pursue finding really good seashells that haven't been cut themselves and use what he says in his video to get them out. Well, I love my Queen. That's all I can say. Okay, hit me up with your questions. Don, this goes out to you. You're the one who's been pestering me for this video the longest. I hope you appreciate it. I hope you learned something. And to anybody who's looking to pursue conch, do it and don't be afraid to ask me questions. Steve Turay is not going to answer your questions. He has insecurity issues. He attempts to monopolize seashell playing and tries to pretend that I don't even exist. But I will not do that to you guys. If you guys are pursuing it seriously and want to ask me questions beyond how to make a sound on it, and you really want to pursue it musically, you can ask me and I will answer you. Because, hey, I look forward to the day that some young kid comes up and laps me. I want these to be appreciated as real instruments. I love the seashells. I love what they do. They're the prehistoric version of this, and they deserve their place in music. But that's up to me, but it's also up to you. So good luck! See ya!